Alexa, stop. Thank you. That was Justin Timberlake's underwhelming new single, Filthy, from his new album, Man of the Woods. And we're going to talk about his performance last night in the Super Bowl. I'm sure you guys all saw it. What did you think? I think the general consensus, well, I think people felt two things after the Super Bowl. One was genuine happiness at the Eagles finally winning the Super Bowl. I mean, the Patriots, I grew up in Connecticut. I have Patriots fatigue. It is like they've been to the show enough times in the last few years. They've won enough times in the last few years. It was very nice to see something refreshing happen. And it was a great game. High scoring, not great defense, which always makes for good games. And I think the other thing people agreed on was that the halftime show with Justin was not very good. And let's talk about it a little bit. First of all, it was a medley of his hits. I don't know if they're necessarily great songs that endure over time, but it was a catalog of sorts. But it seemed like everyone kind of felt he was just sort of half-hearted about it. And I think in the back of our minds, we were thinking a couple things. One, we were thinking about the fact that 14 years ago, the last time he did this, Janet Jackson was up there, and he had the audacity, Justin, actually last night, to do the song as part of his medley, Rock Your Body. That was the song that they were doing when he ripped off Janet Jackson's costume and revealed her breast, which was, puritanical shockwaves across America. And then the other thing that I think people were anticipating was the fact that the game was being played in Minneapolis, and there was going to be some sort of Prince-related component to it. And there were rumors earlier in the week, last week, that there was going to be some sort of hologram. Thank goodness that didn't come to be. As it was, it makes sense. They're in Minneapolis, Prince, Minneapolis, et cetera, et cetera. But it was just something odd about how first of all, Prince, as has been reported widely today, always thought that sort of duets with people who are no longer living are demonic, I think was the word he used. And so even though it was not a hologram, it still seemed a little weird that Justin was suddenly doing this very slow version of I Would Die For You, which, given that Prince died young, A, that was a weird choice. B, I felt like Justin was kind of appropriating Prince's magic because he couldn't deliver any of his own. And I don't know. It was just an odd performance. I mean, Prince didn't die for Justin Timberlake. He didn't die to have his music manipulated in this way on this show. But, it is what it is. Getting back to Justin's own genius, his new album is Back to the Woods. And he says it's, or Man of the Woods, sorry. And he says that this is going back to his roots, which made me wonder what those are since he started out on the Mickey Mouse Club and then in Sync. I don't know what those roots signify. I don't know if they had any meaning as far as like what he was wearing last night with his sort of camo fatigue. Like he looked like some sort of homeless survivalist camper, like bushman. I don't know. He's been living in the woods like a hermit for 20 years. It was just an odd choice in costume, odd choice in what kind of image he's trying to project right now. And just, ultimately, you got the feeling that Justin is becoming almost a nostalgia act. He's someone that we really enjoyed growing up. Some of us enjoyed him, maybe 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And now it's kind of like, but most of the songs he did last night were more than 10 years old. He had 2 recent hits, and one of them was from that Trolls movie, Can't Stop This Feeling. Great song. But it almost seemed at the tail end, it was like, all right, now we're back, and here's something fresh, and here's a song everyone loves, and I don't know. The selfie thing was cute, but ultimately, I sort of left feeling like Justin no longer was particularly relevant in certainly my life, and probably not in most of yours. I don't know how many people out there still buy JT music. I would suggest Man of the Woods you audition with Spotify before you actually put down any money for it. It's not a great album, and not a great weekend for Justin. I mean, between the album coming out on Friday and getting the worst reviews of his career, and then the Super Bowl performance, which I think most people agreed was not great. Ultimately, not a fantastic 3 days for JT. And he tried to blow all this off on Fallon last night, where he was talking about how Questlove had approved the Prince thing, and I don't know what Questlove's real connection is with the Prince estate, but in any event, kind of lame. But, you know, the explanation was about as lame as the performance is all I can say. And I was very happy to get back to football last night after JT. And so I think we're most Americans. Great game. And, you know, ultimately that's what people will remember. People will not remember Justin Timberlake. They'll remember how great this game was. And that is it for today in music. Tomorrow, I can't believe it's already February. We're already well into February. And tomorrow I'm going to look at all the new releases that are going to be coming out this month. There's some good music coming out, as always. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. Hope you guys have an excellent rest of your day. Take care.